His Excellency the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Madabiu, accompanied by the Honorable Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Mohamed Julda Jallo. With the leave and permission of His Excellency the President, this session is now called to order. It gives me the honor to invite Reverend Dr. Titus Williams, Deputy Minister of Event and Economic Planning, to lead us in the Christian prayers.
Shall we all pray? Our God in heaven, we thank you for the privilege of being participants in this workshop. Lord, we pray for your divine wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We pray for the facilitators, that you will use them, Lord, to deliver for a successful workshop in the name of Jesus. Lord, we ask that you be the director of affairs of this workshop as we commit everything in your care. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Very much, Reverend. The same spirit, my long-time developer, Star Anthony, Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, to lead us in Islamic prayers.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم ربنا اغفر لنا وسبح لنا ونسوء الكافرين ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وحكينا عذابنا سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والصلاة والسلام على المرسلين.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I now have the honor to call upon Mr. John Sumaila, the Secretary to the Cabinet and the Head of the Civil Service, Republic of Sierra Leone, for the welcome statement.
Your Excellency, the President, Honorable Vice President, Honorable Ministers, Deputy Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament here present, Chairman, Presidential Initiative for Climate Change and Renewable Energy, other senior government officials, heads of ministries, departments, and agencies, our friends from the print and electronic media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasant duty to welcome you all to this orientation workshop on public service structures and systems. This meeting brings together ministers, ministers of state, deputy ministers, and our objective to orient them on the public service structure, systems, processes, and at the same time, give them insights on their general roles and responsibilities within the public service structure. Permit me, on behalf of all participants, to express a special welcome and appreciation to His Excellency the President, who has set the overall vision for a government that works effectively through planning and implementation, coordination, and collaboration. I also want to thank the Honorable Vice President for his presence and support. Your Excellency, your presence fills our hearts, desires, hopes, and dreams, which we all share. This workshop is organized as part of a comprehensive induction and orientation into the workings of government and to develop a strategy for getting things done. The first of these sessions and induction training on cabinet systems and processes was held exactly 1 week ago at the New Fields Hotel. These workshops are part of a continuous process of learning, adoption, and adjustment to ensure that our public service systems, structures, and work processes are aligned with the President's vision for transformative development, sustainable growth, and efficient service delivery to the citizenry. We believe this workshop is an important part of building strong ministerial and interministerial teams and for reinforcing and continued commitment of our leaders who are ambitious, focused, and determined to deliver meaningful results to citizens of our beloved country. During this workshop, it is our hope that participants will deepen their understanding of public administration and inculcate the culture of harnessing innovation in government business. It is also our hope that during these interactive sessions, we may have an equitable exchange of ideas on issues and knowledge on the matters under discussion that will positively impact the quality and effectiveness of service delivery. Let me once more welcome you all to this workshop and look forward to meaningful contributions. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, the Secretary to the Cabinet and the Head of Civil Service. And I have the privilege to call upon the Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. David Orentation, for his statement.
Your Excellency, President Desmario, Honorable Vice President, Secretary to the Cabinet, Head of the Civil Service, Ministers, Honorable MPs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Excellency, we have your entire team here, as the Head of Civil Service just said, Ministers, Deputies, Commandant Secretaries, professional heads, and we're all eager and excited to participate in this workshop. This is the most diverse and inclusive team ever in the history of public sector governance in Sierra Leone, and we thank you for that. As Chief Minister and on behalf of my colleagues, expectations and commitments. On expectations, we have listened to all of your speeches and will listen to today and continue to listen to everything you and the Vice President have to say. We've read your manifesto commitments to the people of this country. We have thoroughly studied the Big Five, And we know the ambitious vision you continue to inspire us with. It's enormous expectation and challenge from you, the people of this country, and most importantly, ourselves. From the diaspora to people in our villages, from our children to our grandparents, we feel the weight of the expectation of the people to transform this country. And matching to that enormity of expectation is our commitment. Our commitment to deliver for you, your government, and the country. We're committed to deliver because, as you said, now is the time for us to deliver. And we are committed to be fully present here, not just over these next couple of days, but throughout our terms of appointment, because we know that with this commitment, we will deliver. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, the Honorable Chief Minister. Honorable Vice President, ladies and gentlemen, I now have the esteemed honor to call upon His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Brigadier Retired Nicholas Leone.
Let's sit down, please. The Honorable Vice President, Chief Minister, and other ministers present here, Honorable Members of Parliament, civil servants, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my role here is simple. I should not be here as a matter of fact, but I decided to come. In my last term, I am convening orientations and annual retreats. And the essence of that is because this is the team that is going to deliver on the big 5 game changes. The political leadership and the administrative leadership of this country. We cannot work and accomplish that goal if we are not tuned, if we do not come together and understand the shared vision and take it forward. So the essence of meeting here today is to have a candid discussion on how we can bridge the gaps that have existed, that have made it impossible for us to achieve our potential as a nation. I've always said, and I will say it again, that this is a great nation. And I truly believe in what I'm saying. The nature of domestic politics and the interpersonal relationships have killed our potential or kept it on the run. What I want us to do, which I started from the last time, is to make sure that we come together. This is our radio. Nobody is going to like it more than us. Nobody is going to work harder to make sure we succeed more than us. In this room, I know I have all that it takes to deliver on the promises and the pledges I've made to the people of this country. And these are not empty pledges. I have gone around this country severally, in the rain and in the sun, at night and during the day. And I know, I can feel the pain of the people, and I know what they want. And we need to deliver. That is the essence of our government. We cannot without the administrative. We cannot without the public sector. So, today we are here to make sure that we bridge that gap. We come together right from the outset before we get into the busy schedule of working. Yes, I have appointed political heads, but then we have the civil service, the permanent bureaucracy that is there. They work, you have to work with them. But how do you work with them if you don't understand how they work? The challenges they face. Yes, I have a very young cabinet on average. No apologies about that. Our country is very young. More than 70% are young people. In a democracy, the majority should rule. So, it is not a crime until and unless we challenge these young men and women to leadership. We are not going to have a viable and better Sierra Leone when we leave the stage very soon. Some people can start to see my back now. They can imagine my back. So this is my second and final term. But what we want to do is to change the dynamics of the relationship between the political leaders and the administrative sector. We should endeavor the quality or the health of the relationship between these two entities and among the sectors is important in our delivery for the single purpose of working together. Be friends. If you are not friends, have a working relationship. So, normally what happens is, since we started, these retreats have led to thought-provoking issues. We have been very candid about how we can navigate the system and structures of our bureaucracy. It helps us to strengthen the intercollegial and intersectoral collaboration and coordination, as well as charting cordial and productive working relationships between political leadership and the permanent bureaucracy. There is immense utility in this, as I've said earlier, and I want to emphasize again. So, I'm pleased that we are all here and we take this exercise very seriously. It will last for a day or two, but the impact is profound. Let us be a generation of leaders that will change the course of history in this country. I therefore invite all political leaders and bureaucrats to buckle up. Ladies and gentlemen, we can do it. In the last 5 years, we started to show signs that we have what it takes to change the mess we have created of our own country. The gains we have made in the last 5 years. Our business as a government is to deliver services and improve the lives of our people. I have no doubt that we have what it takes in this hall and even out of this hall to deliver. That is why I'm audacious. That is why I speak without any iota of fear or doubt. Because I've had 5 years servants want to deliver, they can deliver. The political leadership, for us, we either deliver or we are deleted. That is the And I don't think we want to be deleted just now. So we have to deliver. I want to say again that Sierra Leone is markedly a different country today than it was 5 years ago. From human capital development to women empowerment, women and girls empowerment, we are way ahead. It's interesting to know that our girls, we have more enrollment and pass rates in the past 5 years than at any other time in the history of this country. We have been very bold and ambitious, and we have made more investment in education in this country since it was founded. What has this done to us? Now, the world knows that a small country, Sierra Leone, is ready. It's ready to take its place. And we have started by going to places. We are now part of the United Nations UN Security Council in the non-permanent category. We have reduced maternal mortality rate by 60% in the last 5 years. We have expanded renewable energy from about 15% to 35% in just 5 years. We have guaranteed minimum of 30% for our women to be amongst us in parliament, in cabinet, and in other places. We have started doing a good job, but there's more to be done. And that is why we need to buckle up. And that is why we need to have a strong working relationship among the different layers of the public sector, including that of the political leadership. You know that I pledge to the people of this country, on my personal behalf and on behalf of all of you, to move faster and do better in providing locally produced nutritious food for all of us. Feed Salone. Food sovereignty, we have not achieved. Even the political sovereignty that we celebrate every day is not on hand. At least, let's go for food sovereignty, that which we know we can do with all that is available to us. Today, it has not rained yet, but it was raining yesterday, and I'm sure it's going to rain again. We have enough arable land, we have enough rainfall, we have what it takes. We should not be fed by other countries. And yet we grumble about the prices of things. So we must feed ourselves. We must provide employment for our children and grandchildren. We must address the structural and operational gaps and weaknesses in the public service delivery system, which is what we are doing here today. And we want to use technology for all the advantages that it has. So we have quite a lot, and we must achieve it. Of course, as you all know, the challenges facing us have been exacerbated by several regional, global, health, security, and economic crises since 2020. And I'm sure we are not out of the woods yet. But notwithstanding all of this, we have to succeed. No excuses. I will not fail the people of this country, nor will I allow you, for this generation of leaders, to fail. Especially when it comes to the transformational agenda that we have laid before the people. the big 5 game changers. We simply cannot afford to fail. We will work assiduously to develop a stable macroeconomy with resilient food systems, improved agricultural productivity, and trade supply chains, and provide better paying jobs. That is why we must fine-tune the public sector, the civil service, and the public sector. We must fine-tune, and we must have the type of productive relationship that is necessary. Delivery of high-quality services is necessary, especially in the face of scarce resources. And that is what we have. So prudent management should be a part of what we do every day. Our manifesto, as you know, is much stronger, for much closer, stronger coherence in governance and collaboration right across the system. Our public plan focusing on fiscal discipline, performance management, leadership capacity in the ministries, departments, and the agencies. I want to emphasize how essential leadership is. Leadership is key to most changes that are taking place. The leadership must get the buy-in of the followers. The leadership must lead by example. The leadership must make sacrifice. So, as appointed political leaders of various ministries, I expect you to do just that. It is also why our institutions should be continually upgraded. We must make sure that we are fit for purpose. We must make sure that we are fit for purpose. All of us, the institutions, the individuals. The world is moving at a very fast pace. Don't be a dinosaur. Don't allow your institutions to be dinosaurs. Otherwise, you will lose your utility and will discard you and delete you. It means that we must have a place for efficient organizational systems and work processes that place direct responsibility for getting things done quickly into individuals and teams. And for me, it is this team, this huge team sitting before us. There's a lot riding on this, what we are doing today. Because how closely I can quickly get you together, to work together, to know that you don't operate in silos, but to work in collaboration, makes my work lighter. Therefore, this administration is going to streamline the legal and regulatory framework, public service management, and flatten the silos in government into multi-sectoral collaborative networks across ministries, departments, and agencies. Planning and implementation will be driven by prioritization and specification. At the same time, a holistic and coherent strategy for addressing the 3 political components of recruitment and performance will result in improved career paths, purposeful deployment of resources, and development of a cadre of different job families that work harder and smarter. In very practical terms, imbibing a driven and accountable public service work culture means that ministers and deputy ministers should each have areas of work that they are directly supervising and being held responsible for within the ministry or the sector mandate that they have a mandate over. It means that the permanent secretary should be a responsible manager of the ministry's financial and human resources, guided by probity, and should supervise the daily work of the accountant, the HR officers, and other key personnel. It means that at least once a week, the political and administrative leadership or heads meet and discuss key areas of work and issues affecting the ministry and hold each other accountable for making progress on outstanding issues. It means that the HRM board, as personnel manager of the civil service, which happens to be the central engine in our big game changers, must plan very well, should have an unequivocal mission for getting the smartest and the most committed people into our rooms. That is where the problem starts, if we don't get the right people into the service. It means that this engine in public service machine must be calibrated, carbureted to maintain speed, efficiency, and general fitness. Ladies and gentlemen, this might seem as a simple exercise, but I take it seriously. I've had the hindsight of taking the oath of office 3 times in this country. Have what it takes to deliver serially. My business is to bring all of that together, get rid of the obstacles, the things, the hurdles that have prevented us from working together. I've always said the nature of domestic politics in this country is holding us back. And that politics comes right into the offices too. We don't have Sierra Leone in mind when we work, some people when they work in offices. What they have is their political party. That is why somebody will go and destroy a transformer that will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and is meant to provide public service, not to the president or the minister. The minister might be fortunate to be in that area. So, we have an uphill task. But if we can start the change amongst us seated here, the leadership of this country, then victory is possible. We can deliver this nation, and we should deliver it. Otherwise, why did we go to school? Why do we claim to be educated if we cannot solve problems? We should be a generation of leaders, problem solvers. Otherwise, let's not claim we are educated. And I want to boldly stand everywhere and say that we are the smartest people in Africa. So how do we put that ingenuity to work for ourselves and our people? That is why we are here. I want to thank all of you for coming, and please take this very seriously. We have a huge task ahead, and we must accomplish it. Thank you all.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have focus session. So while His Excellency the Vice President and Chief Minister has seated, we're going to go out in 3 sets as have been advised. After that, to usher in or call upon the ministers, and they will have the final segment to the permanent secretary. So I have the honor to kindly request all the ministers, government, to just go down, and the protocol people will arrange, and then we will call upon His Excellency and the Vice President to join you in the first question. This is for the ministers. Next segment to be deputy ministers, and the final segment to be the permanent secretaries.
Ada ya?